Hi everyone, welcome to the Math Stone. Welcome to another video of Algebra 1. This video is on simplify radical expressions with variables. So if you haven't watched our previous videos, then I would recommend that please watch the previous videos. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand this video and the next videos. So in the previous video, let's see what we did in the previous video. So we did simplify radical expressions in the last video. So in this topic, we did how to simplify radical expressions, but the radicand was only number. So the radicand part, if you can see, it's just 45, 98, 28, and 490. Now today we'll do simplify radical expression with variables. Now your radicand will be product of numbers and variables. So let's get started. And again, the property that we are going to use, will be the same. It is multiplication property of square roots. It says that if you have inside the square root a times b, so this is equal to square root of a times square root of b. This is the property that we're going to be using. So let's start with question number 1. So I'm going to write a radical expression now. Square root 75 p square. And you know what? Yesterday I read a question on Quora that a person asked that what is it exactly? Is it under root? Is it square root? Or is it root? Like if I have this radical expression, so how do we read it? And he had written 3 things. Do I read it under root 3, or square root 3, or root 3, just root 3? So let me tell you guys, if you also have this confusion, then all of these are correct. This can be read as under root 3, square root 3, and root 3. So I will be using these terminologies interchangeably. So this I'm gonna start now. Square root 75 times p square. So first step will be, we'll find the prime factorization of the numeric part of the radicand. So this is the numeric part and this is the variable part. So your first step will be, you'll find the prime factorization of 75. So 75 is 25 times 3. So that means 3 times 25, and 25 I will write it as 5 times 5. Okay. Now next step will be, we'll group the perfect square factors. So these two are perfect square. These 5 and 5 are making perfect squares. So I write it like this: 5 square times p square times 3. I just changed the order because these two are making perfect squares. Now, third step, I will apply the multiplication property of square roots. This property, the green one, I'm going to apply that property now. So they will be separated now. So square root of 5 square times square root of p square times square root of 3. Okay. And now you know that this is square root of 5 square. So it will be just 5. You know, even if you simplify it, 5 square will be 25. And then square root of 25 will be nothing but 5. This will be p. And this will be square root of 3. And this is your final answer. Simple, right? Yes, I know. Let's do another problem. Okay, I'm going to write it here. Let's say we have 5 times square root of 294 times a raised to 7 times b raised to 10. Okay. So again, our first step will be find the prime factorization of numeric part. So this is your numeric part. So we'll find its prime factorization. So 294, if you find its prime factorization, you'll get it as 2 times 3 times 7 times 7. Okay, and rest of it, I will write it as it is, a raised to 7 times b raised to 10. Then next step will be, I'm going to group the perfect square factors. Okay, so perfect square factors is this 7 square. Then I have, so these over here you see you have 7 A's. So I will write 6 A's. Okay, then I'm going to write b raised to 10. And then 2 and 3 are left, 2 and 3, and 1 A is left. Because here I wrote a raised to 6. So a raised to 1 is left, right? Then we get, and the next step, I'll apply the multiplication property of square roots. So all of these will be separated. So 5 times this, this, and this. And inside the square root, we'll have 2 times 3 times a. Now I'm going to simplify them. So this becomes 5 times 7 times a raised to 3 times b raised to 5 times square root of 2 times 3 times a. Now if you're wondering that this term, how did this term become a raised to 3? This term became a raised to 3 and this term became b raised to 5. So if you guys remember that this square root symbol can also be written as fractional power. So this a raised to 6 square root is also equal to a raised to 6 and half power. And now if you apply power rule, which says a raised to m raised to n, that then exponents get multiplied. So if you multiply 6 and half, so you will get 3. Similarly, here we get 10 divided by 2, that's 5. Now let's simplify it further. So 5 times 7 is going to be 35. A cube, b raised to 5. And then we have square root of 6a. I hope this is getting much and much clearer now. Let's do one more problem. Question number 3. Okay, we have 8 times square root of 490 times c square d square. So first step is find the prime factorization of numerical part, that is 490. So I'm going to write 8 inside the square root. Now 490 can be written as 49 times 10, and 49 can be broken down as 7 times 7. 10 can be broken down as 2 times 5, and then c square and d square. Okay, then I group the perfect squares. So I get 7 square times c square times d square times 2 times 5. So 8. Then I apply the multiplication property. So I get square root of 7 square times square root of c square times square root of d square times square root of 2 times 5. So this is a complete square root all the way till here. So then I get 8 times 7 times c times d times square root of 10, and this is equal to 8 times 7 is 56 c d square root of 10. So that's it for this particular skill, which is simplify radical expression with variables. So in this video, we saw that how to simplify those radical expressions in which we have both variables and numericals. I hope you understood this video and see you in the next part. Thank you, and please subscribe to our channel, The Math Stone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care.